I'm really fortunate enough to have developed the therapy practice to the point where we now have a company and we're surrounded by lots of amazing questies. So I'm the managing director of Grow Therapeutic Coaching, which focuses our work predominantly on young people, children and their families. So having worked with young people for about oh gosh, it's a long time now. It's over 20 years in various capacities as a youth worker, running family services, and working one-to-one in therapeutic capacities in schools. We identified that lots of services weren't able to meet the needs of the young people. And actually, by using cognitive hypnotherapy, we could bring about change really quickly. So about 2 years ago, I had some colleagues that I'd worked with, and they said, actually, we're really interested in doing what you're doing. And I'd started my own business. And along that journey, we ended up with some really amazing people joining Quest and actually qualifying from Quest and joining me in our journey. So now we work in schools. We have contracts with schools, as well as we do private work with families. And we've got a really diverse team. So we've got somebody that specialises in special educational needs, which is a very specialised area. And actually her knowledge, skills and understanding can help with everything from the diagnostic process, which is really difficult, supporting the families, and also supporting that young person to engage in their education, which can be really challenging. And if we're looking at young people that are school refusing or are really struggling with mental health, if they've got this on top of that, it's going to play a major part. And then we've got different skill sets within our team. So we've also got people that really specialise in anxiety and confidence with young people. And just in general, I'm surrounded by a team of lovely people who really care about young people. And that's our big mission, is to be the person that we really could have benefited from when we were younger. So who was that person you needed? And for us, it's somebody that listens, that they can trust, and that can give them some skills and some strategies and some therapeutic intervention that actually have change. Because what we were seeing with lots of young people were accessing services, but they weren't feeling the benefits from it. They weren't able to engage in the process properly. So to actually see that change come about in young people has been phenomenal.
Wow, that's amazing. So what kind of led you, because you told me a little bit about the background, but what kind of led you to study at Quest in the first place?
Do you know, I'll be absolutely honest, I actually saw a questie. So my journey was very holistic, and it started with, I worked in a homeless hostel with young people, and unfortunately I ended up having PTSD from a significant incident that happened there. And I tried all these amazing therapies, from yoga to diets to acupuncture to CBT to absolutely everything, and was really, really struggling with my own mental health. Um, and somebody suggested, oh, why don't you do hypnotherapy? And I was like, do you know, I'm willing to try anything. And I remember going to my first session. I must have had about 4 panic attacks on the way because things were really difficult for me. And I remember leaving that session feeling completely different and like there was hope for me. And at the time I was studying my psychology degree, knew that I wanted to work in a therapeutic capacity. And within 4 sessions, I'd gone from somebody that struggled to leave the house because of high anxiety, having panic attacks all the time, to actually feeling really great and feeling myself for the first time in a very long time. Um, and I thought, wow, if this can happen for me, imagine, you know, what I could do with young people if I had these skills. And so I quit my psychology degree, walked in, saw Trevor and Bex, and at the time they had this most amazing dog called Barney, and he sat on my lap, licked my cheek, and I was like, this is home. This is exactly where I need to be. This is the work I need to be doing. And yeah, it's just been a continual journey of personal and professional growth. And I qualified about 16 years ago, which seems a really long time ago, but it's been the best thing I ever did.
Wow. So if there is someone who is maybe watching this, maybe it's a parent or maybe a teenager that's struggling, don't know where to go. If there was something that you could share with them that would help them right now, what would it be?
I think I'm going to send this out to parents, because I think a lot of the time in the process when we're working with young people, there's a lot of stigma, a lot of fear that the parents have if their children need to enter therapy. And I think the biggest thing that I can share with parents is there's absolute no shame or blame if your young child is struggling with their mental health. It doesn't mean anything about you as a parent. It doesn't mean anything about you as an environment. It just means that at that time, that young person needs a little bit of support. Just as, we would give them the support if they needed a tutor for their education, we can also do that with their mental health. And not to project that this is the end of the line for that young person, that actually this is the beginning of a really nice process of them learning about themselves. So that is the biggest message I can share, because I think a lot of the time parents are really apprehensive and really quite concerned if their children are struggling with their mental health. But actually, there's so much we can do about it.